563, mostly women, responded within just the first hour. 563, mostly women, commented on the post that asked for people with a story who want to write a book. What are all of these stories? Are you wondering? I certainly was. I wanted to know more. Hello, Sigrid Cast here, high impact, high profit book writing, publishing, and marketing specialist. And in this video, I'm going to share 3 tips how to unlock the power of your unique story in a book, because so many people want to tell their story, obviously, when we have such a response to a comment. So let's get back to that post that I started telling you about. I started scrolling through such an amazing amount of responses, and they were coming in so fast too, that I wanted to know what sort of experiences, what sort of stories, what sort of ideas did these people have to want to write a book about. And really interestingly, the theme each one wants to write about repeated from person to person, very much like around writing the book to make positive impact on people's transformation, to help leaders better understand their leadership style, share lessons learned in leadership roles, executive coaching roles, that's to that type, wanting to write to empower others to step up and become powerful leaders. So most comments also ended in something like to share the experience or to share my experience from 15, 20, 30 years doing this work. I have a lot of experience. And yes, look, having acquired knowledge and expertise over a long time, there is value to be shared, value worth telling in a book. The sad fact is only 80%, particularly of women, might start writing their book. And then most of them will take years to write, and a lot of them won't finish that book that they started. And even those that do eventually finish and publish, they rarely achieve that success that they hoped for with their book, that the book would bring them. Now, why is that? Well, in my experience, the main reason is that the author is not aware how to focus on their own point of difference, on the point that makes them unique. They focus so much on the story or on what they share, but not on that unique point of difference. Most people who want to write a book focus on the experience in the same way the next person does. So same thinking. For example, writing about empowerment, leadership, transformation, without sharing authentically their own point of difference, often for fear of giving away too much of their knowledge. So let me share with you today these 3 points or these 3 tips. Discover your story's untapped power, master the art of impactful writing, and transform your fear into fuel. Let's get started. While it is true that most people in business most likely have a story to tell, the key is to plan how your story is going to inspire others. You see, when as many as 563, mostly women, respond to one post with almost identical story topics, you might wonder what would make your book valuable for others to want to read it. And that is exactly the question to ask. Instead of focusing your attention on your story, focus on the lesson or lessons learned and the benefit your lesson might have for others. In other words, focus on what the outcome of your experience is and how your book can help position this outcome for others to gain insights for themselves. Let me just have a quick jump around here. Very sorry, just making sure. Yep, all is good. Sometimes technology likes to play around. So as I'm saying, here are 2 examples to share with you, focusing on what the outcome of your experience is, so that your book can help position this outcome for others to gain insights for themselves. Do you want your book to help you evaluate you as a speaker, let's say, to give you credibility on the topic that you're writing about, so you get invited to share your insights with the book being your product in a way? Or another example, do you want your book to up-level an expertise that you've acquired from your experience, and you'd like the book to attract clients who want to work with you? You see, very few people think about their book in this way at the beginning, before they start writing, and that is important. The power of your story, the power of telling your story, lies in knowing what your book is going to do for you, the purpose of the book for you. For example, if you would like that book to elevate your story, so you'll be called on to share your experiences all around the world, the next thing to work out is who will want to know about your specific experiences, what you've learned, the lessons, the insights you've gained. This is to be considering your target reader. The power is in clearly identifying who would be most interested in learning more about your topic or the lessons that you've learned. So the tip number 1 for today is the power of your story is in focusing on the benefit or the outcomes you've experienced and are sharing that for others. Sharing what you've learned as an insight with readers who are looking for those insights. Having a reader for your book clearly in your sight allows you to write your story with impact. I know you might be thinking, but I just want everybody to learn what I've learned, to overcome obstacles like I did, to see the new path, to see the better way, and I just want to sell my book. Here's the thing, you will sell your book faster and many more of your books when you have written it for a specific reader. Think about it just for one moment. All the ads, for example, that swish through your feed when you're scrolling through your social media, most of those ads will be on a topic that interests you. And these ads follow you around because the algorithm has worked out what you like. Now, I'm not suggesting to learn about algorithms and having your book follow people. No, not at all. What I am suggesting is to make sure that your story and the valuable insights you've gained reach the right reader, the one that needs and wants to know about the topic you're writing about. And with that, here's my second tip. Let's talk about mastering the art of impactful writing. You see, when you know who you're writing for, you can arrange the sequence of events of your story, of your message, in such a way that they deeply touch that reader, instead of just following a timeline from A to B or from 1 to 10. You can choose your words exactly in a way that speak fully and authentically to the reader, and you can bring whatever the events are into whatever sequence will become most powerful to share that message you have. The exciting part is that you can truly, uniquely identify which part or parts of your story are most powerful to tell to a particular readership. See, most people think that their expertise that's come from years and years of experience is in itself unique. Most likely that is not the case, but what is unique is what you made of it, how you used your experience. That is of interest and unique to you. So as I shared earlier, 563 people, mostly women, all had the same baseline book idea. So writing about leadership, empowerment, transformation, something that makes an impact, an impactful book. When you now focus on the reader with your own story as the anchor to attach these experiences to, you really are making an impactful, a memorable, impactful book. Having your sights set clearly on that specific reader you're going to write for allows you to identify what's most important, and you can really roll out your story in a way that this reader will be deeply touched by. Let's just come up with an example just off the top of my head. Instead of focusing your book on yet another sort of leadership or how to lead or better leader topic and title, focus on the fact that you draw out in the people you work with what their true calling is and help them transform to find their own authentic leadership style. And you discover, as an example, with a bit of research into who you most work with, that it is people over 50, for example. So focus in on that fact. Write your book around discovering the unique leader you are at 50 plus, using these 15 transformational steps. It's just completely off the top of my head, but that is how you would work through to really make it unique and create impact. Now then you'll just wrap your own story around the part that is important, different parts, as the highlight of bringing your message across, because your story is unique and it is important to find that unique aspect of it so that the book can help you achieve the outcome you have in mind and becomes a valuable resource for others. And having some idea of who these readers are, you can choose words that paint your story in pictures to the reader. So here's what I mean by that. Always use words that raise an image in the mind of the reader. For example, something like, she stood there in a designer style midnight blue suit in front of the audience who were fascinated by her appearance, every pair of eyes focused on her. Did you picture that? I'm sure you saw the pictures around this woman in a midnight blue designer suit. It really allows the reader to get an idea, to picture what is going on. That's a really powerful way, powerful style to write. And it is not that difficult. Thirdly, my third tip for this video today is it is essential that you transform your fear into fuel and do write that book. Now, most people, especially women, experience when they're thinking about writing a book, their fear revolves around the fear of what might be said, what others might say about you, about your book. Bad reviews of their book or being talked about, not being a very good writer, finding fault with your story. Along those lines, that's a huge fear for many. Here is what to do about those types of fears. Firstly, gather your own good friends, your community or family, and ask them straight up for kind reviews. Ask them to read your book or parts of it, or just discuss your purpose of writing your book with them and ask them to give you feedback, reviews that you can use. Those positive words will boost your confidence, and you can use those words in all your book promotions. Most well-known authors do exactly that. They ask for reviews, for feedback long before publishing. And they won't do it themselves. You know, they have people around them, obviously, or the publisher does as the PR advisor and so on. But they go about collecting positive reviews and positive feedback from other well-known people. That does not mean that those people actually read the book. They just give that positive feedback to help sell the book. So for you, this is about gaining and keeping your confidence in your own work by having positive feedback before you are finished. So you can always look back at that. Secondly, being talked about, see that as a good thing. Join into the conversations with positive, uplifting comments. Use positive words and descriptions to talk about your book and people who've read it and why you wrote it in the first place. Let your desire to make a difference be the fuel that drives you forward. And so, here is my key message for you. Every person in business, every woman, and that includes you, has a story worth telling. If you feel that pulling inside, that little voice that wants you to share your story, and it might be an all positive story, the key to telling your story in your own unique way is to focus on who would benefit the most from your experiences. Who is already looking for that message that you have? Who is that target reader? Writing for a target reader will help you sell your book, will help your book sell itself, because there are people who want to read it. And then write it in words that paint a picture in the mind of the reader. Midnight blue designer suit, that's a clear image. You have what it takes to write. Boost your own confidence by asking for positive feedback. And if you have an idea for a book to write, simply use the booking link and choose a time and day to speak with me if you would like my help. Let's map out together what your first step needs to be. Secret Cast, high impact, high profit, book writing, publishing, and marketing specialist.